Hey guys, in this pro tip we're going to talk about the angles that we mentioned briefly in the last series of videos we did. We were talking about appendix carry positions, 3 or 9 o'clock positions, or 4 or 5 o'clock small of the back. We want to talk about the angles a little bit more in depth because there were some great questions saying, well, what angle should I actually put the holster at and how do I determine that? So the best thing to do, guys, when you put your holster on, if you take a knife hand, keep your wrist straight to your middle finger, and as I reach down and just touch my belt, that's the angle that a gun or a magazine should be at if I'm putting it right here. This is why you'll see some people with appendix carry will actually be kind of angled outward. And the reason why is because, again, biomechanics, the understanding and study of human body movement is how do I keep those straight lines strong so I get a better grip, I get a faster master grip or rigid grip, and I get faster side alignment, side pitcher through kinesthetic alignment and awareness. Okay, so again, as I run my hand around my body, if I take my holster off here and I run it around to that point and touch my belt, that's what I'll do is match up that angle the best that I can right there. And that's how you'll see me particularly run this holster, this open carry holster, is matching that line. That line again gives me a straight wrist. The last thing we want to do is grab a gun like this or bend our shoulders forward with the angles back. So if you can straighten up the gun at least, because a lot of guns and holsters will not allow you to do this, well then at least straighter is better if it's going to be on your 3 or 9 o'clock. And you'll also see us position the gun slightly more forward on our belt line versus back on our belt line, because where do I normally grab when the gun's back? I'll grab here versus here. So that little bit of movement just forward will allow my hands to go right to the gun and keep straighter lines. So when I grab, the gun comes right out where I want it to. Versus if I have that back angle like we showed in that other video, I've got to either drive forward and then come out this way, and then you get this bowling or fishing motion. It can go either way, okay? So we want to try to prevent that by having straighter lines. So get those holsters straighter if you possibly can. And that goes for the same lines. As you run your hands around your back, you'll notice the more I move my hand around my back, the higher my shoulder goes and the back, further my elbow goes. So that's where that angle changes. So small the back or 4 or 5 o'clock, you've got to match that angle. Same thing for your magazines. Take that knife edge hand, touch your belt, start running your hand around. Well, you can see the magazine matches the angle of my wrist, that line of the wrist. So when I come down, it goes right up and in. So with these mag pouches we use here, the G-code ones have offset holes. So I can offset them and kick them so that first magazine is angled. Now as I move that knife hand around my body more, what happens? The wrist straightens out. So guess what position this magazine is? It's straight up and down. The holes haven't been modified. As I move around my back, like you'll see some competition shooters, they'll have them angled forward because that's easier to grab the magazine. So don't forget about those little nuances to your gear to help you be more efficient, which over time, when you train to that, will help you go faster and more accurate, guys. I'm Travis Haley. Thanks for joining me. Stay sharp and be safe.